Hey, alright. Mr. Engineer, Mr. Engineer.
You know, you gotta see the physics from angle Z and X and Y, you know what I'm saying? And all that, you know, so you get that balance of life.
Of course,
balance of life.
of course. Hey, welcome back everybody.
Not
Today,
sponsored, not sponsored.
not sponsored. Today, Opinion Outlaws, back at it again. And I just had an epiphany the last time that we talked about the episodes that we were making. Understand somebody, we have almost made now 60 videos and 60 episodes.
Unemployment behavior right there.
I'm not saying unemployed because
behavior right there.
most of the episodes that we made, we were either studying or employed. So
shit.
But back at it again with another episode, and the only thing you're gonna say is you're gonna say that.
Ironically, we're supposed to do this episode while driving, you know, to have a little bit of change of environment in a sense, but then we decided, you know, to have that conversation off topic, off camera and enjoy our road. So
yeah, for sure.
Y'all gonna have the, you know, the typical scenery we got going on up here.
Yes,
so
sir.
Hope you enjoy anyway.
Yes, sir. And before we start anything we start before, you know what to do. You like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button if you want that. And also remember all social media and Spotify.
Oh yeah, it's still. Oh yeah,
it's still now. It has stopped. Like it's not coming. Now it has to like re-upload again and again. But until now, it was automated. Like every week, there's coming.
Still March. I'm like, what the hell? Well, you started like last. It was July.
Something like
July,
that.
Like he said, let me put an automation. Spotify said, no worries, we put it till March.
Yeah, because I set it up in a way that once a week there's an episode, but when I look back, it was 40-something episodes. So it means 40-something weeks, which means that from the beginning
till till the previous episode, pretty much. Previous season.
Previous season,
so yeah.
There we go.
There we go. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? She happy. Yeah. Time flies.
But our episode numbers were in Spotify was actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised because you know the plaquets. I sent you the plaquet actually.
Oh yeah, the listen time. And wasn't it like Indians were listening?
I don't remember.
Hey yo, shout out.
But hey,
shout out.
We don't discriminate. Hey. Big ones, small ones, black ones, white ones. Everybody's welcome.
No diddler, bro. No diddler.
Not like that, bro.
Hold up. The way you.
Hey,
no. Listen. The way you sentence, it sounds off. You said, we don't discriminate. No big ones, no small ones, no black ones. Hey, viewers can...
I said we don't discriminate. Big ones, small ones, black ones, white ones.
Say that again. Listen to it for a moment. Just listen to it.
I know what I said.
Well, yo, bro. Yeah, y'all can comment down below, bro. Y'all heard what I heard.
He's trying to
no Diddy on it.
He's trying to catch me a fade.
No Diddy on it, bro. 4K. We heard what he said.
You're trying to catch me a fade.
Hey, check the clip back. Check the clip back.
Okay.
What we got today?
Today, I believe that we won't have a long episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit packed,
but still, it's an episode that, of course, we can talk about it in other theme or other
combined
seasons. It's about this belonging, but now we go to the family level, where inside the family, and for many, I know for a fact that for many human beings that I know, it's hard to talk about because usually the idea is that we are family. No Dominic Toretto. We are family.
For the family.
We are family. And it's very hard to say that even though I am blood relative to you, or even though I have known you for many decades and we are like family, like brothers or like sisters or whatever the case may be, it's very hard to say that, but I don't feel like I belong here. And I would start with this one. To you, the question goes that we have discussed it about what makes you feel belonged and that. How do you view when it comes to family aspects? And we are not just talking about intimate family, like just mother and father and your sisters and brothers, but cousins and relatives and all that. How do you view this thing about belonging aspect?
Well, in this scenario, usually here comes the wording of is blood thicker than
Water.
pretty much thicker than water. So with family thing, at least how I view it, you can always like even if you have a bad relationship, you still have the family in that sense. It will just be a bad family,
Yeah.
but it will always be family compared to like example, let's say friendships that sour out or something like that. You have that idea of you used to be friends and now you ain't friends and there's nothing else that connects you anymore at that point.
Yeah.
But with family, even though you might sour out or you might stop talking to them, but they will still be canonically said still will be your family in that sense. Of course, then when we start opening the topic more in a sense of like who makes you feel like more of a family, like the feeling of the family, then it's a whole different topic in itself. But overall, no matter what type of relationship, you will still have that blood connection with them. So it's a bit different than a friendship in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, I know what you're about to ask. But at the same time, friends can create the dynamic of you being family with each other, even though they're not bloodly related. Kind of like, I would say, adoption. In a sense, y'all not really bloodly connected, but you build that environment with them that you are kind of like family or in a family dynamic in itself.
Do you know anyone who was adopted? Because I know few that I know in a personal level, and they have talked about that. Of course, I haven't been nosy.
Yeah. What's going on with your family?
Like, I haven't been nosy. Like, understand people when it comes to personal stuff. I don't like to be
Too pokey.
or too nosy. Like, if you don't share, I'm not asking. Like,
exactly.
I'm not going to ask that. Hey, by the way, what happened, bro?
What happened? You got adopted, huh? I see. No. I like know plenty of people that are adopted. Like we also have like mutual like people that we know that are adopted. But like I said to you, I haven't like poked into it too much unless they like speak about it or start the family conversation. That's a different thing. But mostly what I've known from them, like if we even dabbled on the topic, is that I was adopted as a kid. Like I might or might not know like their blood relatives in that sense, but on top of that, most of them are not really connected with the blood.
Yeah.
Because most of them were like put in adoption, and that's pretty much the end of their like origins in that sense. Like they might know like where they're from and they have visited the city, but they haven't like connected with their blood family members in that sense.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I've been. How about you?
What I've seen, it's interesting because even though they are adopted, and even though they know that their family is now somebody who is not, if we cut them open and look at inside their genes and their blood, they are not related. But I've seen that even though they are adopted, they live a happy life. They live the life that they want to live. However, to the different side of a coin is the fact that when you speak to them, you can sense that they are missing something. Not even, you cannot just pinpoint it.
See what you read.
You cannot pinpoint it, but you can see that there is something missing. And I'm not even saying that in a bad way, but I'm saying that you can, when you speak to them, you can feel that they are longing for something more. For example, one of the guys that we know,
Actually, I got two already. I got two in my mind already.
but one of them who we know, good guy, like a good guy, decent guy, nothing in a bad way to say about him.
Ass. Just the jokes.
But when you speak to him, when he talks about that, he wants to go and visit the place that he was adopted from, because he was, to the context, he's not adopted inside the country, but he was adopted from
abroad.
somewhere abroad. And now that he has never visited that place, it attracts them in a certain way that they want to visit where they are from. And you can see the longing when they haven't visited or they want to go and visit. You can see that they haven't touched the roost where they're from.
And to that, actually, because I'm guessing the guy we're talking about, because like we mentioned, from abroad, so there's some difference to the adoptive family. Like there's like a
for sure.
racial difference or skin tones or appearance overall that they don't look similar in a sense. So to that, actually, I wanted to ask you because you know the feeling of longing in such scenarios, I usually expect that there has to be a small play of that I don't look similar to them.
Oh,
Like
for
even
sure.
though I'll be raised by them and treated like family, but I don't look like them. So that is one of the things that triggers that. Okay, what is out there where I'm actually from? So I was about to ask you on that department that is the is what could be in play of the longing feeling in the background, if not like racial reasons or like that I look separate to them. What else could be possibly in play?
Actually, I'm gonna take you as an example.
What the hell, hey, bro? I wasn't adopted.
No,
What you
no,
trying
no.
to say?
You weren't adopted, but the guy who was actually said something about you and our other homeboy,
Yeah.
and because he is also in tone more like this than like that.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
He is more Michael Jackson before than after.
Shit, bro. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Was the theaters 24th April biography of Michael Jackson as a movie.
Gotta put the word on it.
But we spoke about this, and he said that the first time he met you guys, he said that he felt much more connected to you than previous people that he has met. And he said that because of the skin tone, he was treated here, even though
The name was fully.
the name was fully, and he acted like them, and the language was perfect to the similar to a T. As you have talked, the skin tone, it stands out, and because it stands out, the people have a different perspective of it if they haven't gone abroad. If they, I'm talking about now in Finland. I don't know anywhere else in the world, but in Finland, it is the general consensus of, you see, especially I'm talking about older, younger generation, they have been abroad and they have social medias a lot, so they are used to communicate and be around people who are not alike or doesn't look the same. But the people who are born before 90s, most of them have been raised in a way that they haven't even seen a black person.
Or anybody who's in a darker shade.
a darker shade.
Future just separate differs from what they're used to.
So it's always, even in, you have said this before greatly, unconsciously is the difference. Even though consciously they try their best to not do something bad
Not
to
say
you.
anything, but
Say-
in
subconscious, they still treat you in a little bit. And when he met you guys, he felt the same thing as you have felt. So therefore, I believe that connected to him more than to somebody who has not experienced it.
Yeah, because that's where actually originally my question was actually more of a. But it's good that you open it up more because my original question would have been more of a, would there be difference in the adopted child or person if they were adopted from here and their origin are actually from here as the adoptive like family compared to person who was adopted from somewhere else and their adoptive family is from somewhere else and they're totally different. Is there a big difference between them?
Yeah. To this, I would actually like, if there is a possibility and somebody else watches, Finnish people who immigrated to Sweden, but more so to Spain and to America. There are a few people who are immigrated there. I don't know if Finnish people know this, but during the wartime and after the wartime, Finnish people have immigrated. I'm talking about actually went and are living there in Spain and in America. And that would be a great, interesting conversation because when they visit, for example, Finland, and even though they know the language and they look alike, do they, of course, adaptation, it's not in the same, like you said, it's not the same. But it's still interesting, it would feel interesting to see their perspective because Finnish culture is such a unique culture when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because the reason why I actually asked this, because I don't know if you have seen videos about, for example, people who have donated their like sperm or some, have donated their sperm and their sperm has been used for like, what is it called when
Their fertility?
yeah, kind of like the sperm have been used to like
to actually make
but it has its own word. I just forgot the biological word. But anyway, so the sperm donor has like plenty of biological kids around them. And the kids are being raised by the families that have like gone through the process and all that. So I've noticed even those kids, even though they're like born genetically to whatever the process is, and they've been raised like with their good families and so on, so still to the end of the day they still want to like to some degree connect with the origin, the origin and so on, and even with the quote unquote siblings in that sense as well.
For sure. I'm gonna even take my example. Last year, was it? No, the year before, not last year, but the year before.
24?
Yeah, 2024. I went through documents and I went through people about my origins, because I know, for example, who was my great granddad, but I don't know where he came from. Like, where is his roots?
Got me scared from Robert that you started questioning him. It's my dad,
No,
my mom,
not like
my
that.
adopted.
Not like that. But I started to look around because I know that my father had that research for a long time. But then my father, because he has his own things when we go there, usually he cannot do his own research at peace. So I went, and I have a big mouth and I can speak, and I found out where are my actual roots. So I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years back. And when you search the history, I'm like,
I see, big man thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it is an interesting thing, and it's more like, I would say this, that even though in a logical sense you are fine, like you said, in a logical sense you are perfectly fine and you're raised in a good family, all that, but somewhere inside of you there's a little voice that says that this is the part that you're missing. Even though, let's say that you're adopted, hopefully you're okay, but let's say you're adopted and you want to meet the family members that you had. Even though with meeting with their family members, it's not like this big fireworks. It's just, hey, how you doing? I'm your son or I'm your daughter, and they say, oh, okay, and they move on. Even though it is like that, you still have some type of closure in a sense, some type of peace around that. Okay, they are like that, and you move on. It's maybe that there is something innate to human nature that we cannot explain about these things. There is no science to say that
X, Y, and Z.
X, Y, and Z. And I believe that family, because I know from African culture and I know from my culture that family, it is this very important. We hold it to a very high standard of importance when it comes to culture and when it comes to behavior and religion. And it's one of the key elements, one of the key pillars to our culture. But I have told this story again, there are also a lot, like you said, that even though you're not doing anything with that relative, you don't like that much.
Yeah, you don't care about them, but you still know that.
But you still know them. I have both sides. I have both sides. Every time I go to my country, I have both sides. I have those relatives that till the day we go to heaven, if I don't meet him or her,
you don't really care that
it's
much.
It's alright.
Your life doesn't really crash, but you have the knowledge that you have the family members.
I'm gonna give you an example. You remember, I lost in December, right before Christmas. I lost my cousin. He's not even like, if we look at the blood, he's not even close cousin, like second cousin, but he's like a little bit farther. But everybody who knows him, he was like this guy who made you feel like, okay, you belong with him. You are with him. And I like that person. I like that person very much. But the people, 2 days ago? 3 days ago, something like that? One of our neighbors over there passed away.
As well.
But he was a good guy. So we were laughing with my...
Hold on, you laughing, nigga passed away. We were laughing.
Our family is they have a little bit dark humor, and we were laughing because we were saying, look, every good guy is passing away.
That's a sign, bro. Time is coming. Time is coming.
Good people are passing away. Why cannot these bad people you don't like that much, you don't really care about, why they don't pass away?
You know, we live in dark times, you know, so that's what a lot of people be asking, why we be losing. It was not J. Cole, but this one artist, what was his name? Because he sang, he had a one song where he was like, well, you know, what God doesn't bring back Michael Jackson, all the good people, why we have all the crooks out here, bro? Like, you could be taking the crooks, but nah, you're taking Tupac, you're taking Michael Jackson, you're taking the good artists, you know, the ones that were doing something in the community, but, you know.
Side note, you mentioned Michael Jackson and Tupac. You know that Michael Jackson beat Tupac's butt?
Hey, game is game.
That is...
Hey, he was Michael Duck No Faith Jackson.
That is actually... It's interesting to
Still innocent,
say.
bro.
Who is innocent?
Michael.
Yeah.
He innocent.
He actually a hero.
He a hero.
He a hero.
That's why he made the Neverland.
I don't know how many. We might get in trouble for this, but
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a damn because Michael was persecuted so badly at that time.
Because they were doing some other things.
The files told that Michael was actually trying to save those kids from there.
That's why he had the Neverland, bro. You know, and still, that's why, because if you think about it, this is off topic, but when you think about it, they're like, he's touching kids, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's doing it. Nah, nigga. Michael was, which is kind of bad, you know. A lot of us made memes, jokes about, you know,
for sure.
touching, but he was actually a solid guy. He was doing it, you know.
Oh, for sure.
He was robbed of his own childhood, so he was trying to protect the other childhood.
Yeah, for sure. He was the man.
He was the man.
We cannot say anything, and we aspire to be like him. To do
Imagine
this.
that motherfucker was more famous than people who are famous nowadays.
Yeah.
Without that proper internet connection.
Like no internet connection whatsoever. You just saw it on TV or radio, and you.
Bro, people in the hoods, in the hoods, no. You know they don't care about us.
Yeah.
You know how that shit was made?
Yes.
Bro, that's how you know he was thugging. When the cartel said, "Now we got
Tell the
you."
story. Tell the story.
Bro.
Tell the story. Because actually, it goes to the family that we talked about, belonging.
Belonging, exactly. So basically, if you all don't know about the background of "They Don't Care About Us," the song, he asked from the government that, you know, could we like make a music out of this and could we get like protection and all that for the music video. Government said, nah, bro, we ain't about all that.
And he's talking about the Brazil,
basically, because was it favela? I think
Favela,
it was favela, yes. The government said, nah, bro, we ain't all about that, you know, I don't know all that. Well, guess what? I don't know specific how it went, but I just know Cartel was like, nah, we got you. We got protection, you know, we like you. Because they grew up with his songs and everybody knows Michael is a solid guy. So they said, nah, we got you. Come to us. We take care of you. He had the whole street.
Yeah.
Whole goddamn neighborhood. Just for him. Just because Cartel decided, nah, it's on us. We got you. We like you. We want to protect you. You can show the world what the government couldn't do.
That was the basis of it. Like the whole point, because Michael wanted to make a music video where he would show the real people doing the real, like actually life that they are living. And that's why it connected. That's why Michael Jackson connected with so many people.
He was doing something, bro. He was doing something different, bro.
That's why he connected. and the other thing is that the reason why he got connected so well with so many people was that he did it with his heart. He was not faking it. He was not.
It wasn't about money.
No, he didn't care about money. He had money.
Yeah, that's fact, bro.
He's mad.
And it was about the ladies only too, if you know.
He had ladies too, like.
He had them, but he wasn't doing it about the ladies as well too. You know, he might, you know, a couple of romantic songs and all there, but it was about the ladies, you know, in the end of the game, he was a freak like that.
Oh, for sure. And the whole point was that he wanted to do somewhere where our, like, actual people live, not in a tourist destination where a lot of like a lot of guys and girls, the artists do right now and before. And that's why he asked the permission, because of course favela, nobody just walks there and be like, hey. But yeah, the gang criminal, the leader of the gang there, the cartel, he said that don't worry, you are protected, come here, do your thing.
Do your thing. And he was doing his thing.
And he was doing his thing. And it just showcased that even though I'm talking about my parents, for example. My parents lived in Balkans. It was tension was rising. People were murdered.
Niggas were taking.
It was not fun. Michael Jackson, he is thousands and thousands kilometers away from my country. They don't know what he's saying because they don't speak English.
That's true.
My parents, they can understand some words and phrases, but they don't speak English, and they don't understand English. And my parents knew Michael Jackson. They knew, and they said that, yeah, he's a good singer, he's a good, solid dude. And my father even said to me, we talked about this. My father even said that, you see the mic? He never touched the kids. He never touched the kids. And my father was right.
We got other motherfuckers be touching all the kids out here.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that, you know?
And they accused Michael Jackson.
Exactly. That's how the stories go, you know. You gotta push the blame on somebody else. And he crashed the car, bro. It was me. But we caught you on the camera. Nah, bro, it wasn't me. It was him. It was him.
The black dude.
The black boy. Well, hold on. Anyway, appreciation for Michael Jackson for a moment. Back to the topic. As we talk about the family dynamic.
Family belonging.
Yes, belonging.
Do you have a question? Because
No. I was thinking about because what I asked you earlier about how about the difference about somebody who's being adopted from the same country. Because you mentioned about being from Spain, America. Yeah. But I mean, in a sense of being adopted, like inside the country of origin, and being adopted just by some other family. In that sense, would that person have the similar type of reaction as somebody who was adopted abroad? Because personally, I don't think, at least no native have mentioned to me, I was adopted in a sense. Because like you mentioned, if you don't poke, nobody just brings it out of sudden. I'm not actually. Funny thing. Now that I think about it, yes, there is like the stepdaddy situation. Yeah, actually, in that sense, yes, I do know people who are, but like I mean, in a sense of like somebody being born and put in the adoption immediately.
Yeah. Do you know any? Because I don't, on the top of my head, it doesn't like come.
Yeah, kind of same to me. Like I don't have that type of situation in my head because I would say in this society or community in itself, there really isn't that much of a situation. Yes, there is a situation where if the kid is the parents are unable to like raise the child, or the child is too outlandish or too rowdy,
wild enough.
They have the social system that they will take the child out of the family and put it to the how would I say,
rehabilitation?
No, not that only,
social care.
No, there's also that they will put into another household that are willing to help with trying to raise him or trying to direct him in better lifestyle. Foster family, that's the right word. But usually when they end up in such a situation, a lot of them are way older, like they're already in a sense that they've known their parents to some degree, and so. But I haven't, at least personally, I don't remember meeting anybody who was like from birth put into adoption immediately and then taken to another family.
What do you think? How would that unfold? Because I have a vision how it would or how it could unfold, but like you said, we don't know any examples. So, what do you think?
I mean, I would say in a sense, because it would go back to our friend, because he has the thing that separates him from the adoptive family. Like he could have been raised all through his life without like understanding it in a sense, but because the society treats him in a sense that he's different, so he kind of like subconsciously start think about it, like okay, I don't belong here, and so on and so on. But in situation where somebody whose origins are from here and they're adopted by people who are from here, if they were never told, at least this is my assumption, if they were never told that they are adopted, they wouldn't in a sense react the similar way that they don't belong here or don't belong to the family, because that sense usually comes when you start being aware of you being different. So if I look like you, I speak like you, I behave like you, and I don't have any knowledge of being actually from something else, then there wouldn't be any basis for them to start wondering. Of course, I bet if they were told that, hey, by the way, you're adopted, they will be curious about their family, not necessarily their whole, not family, correction, about their parents. Like who are their parents, and if there's a possibility of connection, that most likely will happen. But like to be like, I don't belong here, no, I doubt. Because I look like you, I behave like you, and you have, especially if they have treated the child like with love and the thing that makes you feel like family, you belong to the family, then there's no necessity for them to start searching outward. At least that's my assumption.
Yeah, for sure.
But how about you?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of like in a 50-50 because I believe that in a certain percentage, it is just the environment that you're in. Of course, like you said, we take an example of one of our friends. He looks different, so therefore he will be treated differently, even though his mannerisms and his native tongue and everything that he does and says are exactly like his family does. But just because the way he looks, then it goes back to another way. I believe that if somebody was native, I'm talking about blood native, and they are adopted to the family, to a Finnish family, and they are living their life. If something, usually it happens, but if something doesn't happen, like they go to school normally and they get a job and they create a family, and like there is nowhere in life where something happens that kind of exposes the reality.
Hey, you look different. You don't belong here.
Not even you look different, but let's say a family member of your father and mother, adoptive mother, father and mother, they say, hey, they cannot have kids. Then of course you will say, how am I here? Like, of course, and then for example, that kind of thing is very possible, and usually life happens that way. That something somewhere. Somebody brings out something. Like it doesn't even need to be like the example that I took. It can be you see someone who says, hey, you look a lot like that person, and you're like, well, I don't know that person, and then from there it kind of rumbles down. But I believe that if God decides that they will never know that they are adopted, it can happen the way you said. Like in the reality, they won't find out. Like they will still feel loved, cherished and respected in their family, and they will feel like a family. So therefore, they just continue their thing.
Living as a family. But like you mentioned, there's very high possibility of somebody poking the ground of like, I mean, you're part of family, but we ain't related in a sense, so shit like that. So that's
you both have blue eyes and I have
brown eyes or some shit like that.
Hey, what's going on? I have a full set of beer. My father doesn't. What's going on? Like,
shit, that would be actually tough. Think about it. You end up in such a situation like, I got luscious hair, but my dad bald. What's going on?
Oh man,
I'm ginger. You're black hair. The math ain't mathing. Funny thing is that actually we know. I don't know if you know, but I know. No, bro.
The meta crap.
I know this one individual who was actually adopted from abroad as well, and their roots are basically all the way to the east. All the way to the east. But the parents are from here.
Okay.
And if I remember right, when I talked about it with her, it was very like, the same thing that, you've been raised with love and all that. And of course, only thing that really brings out that you're not from here or you're not blood relatives is that you look different in that sense. But if I remember, I think I've asked about the family dynamics does she know about her origins. She knows about the origins, but she hasn't connected with the origin in a sense. And some people also don't have the necessity to want to connect with their origin.
For sure.
Especially in situation when your appearance doesn't bring out too much of a hassle, let's say like that, with your upbringing, in the sense of, you're being constantly treated like...
if you're, for example, Danish, or from Iceland and you're adopted to Finland, the looks doesn't
Yeah, it doesn't trigger too much.
they don't stand out that much. Or you're from Sweden, like, or Estonia or Russia, like you don't stand out that much.
Especially if your whole childhood has been with this certain like group of people.
Yeah, for sure.
You pretty much adopt the idea of them being your example grandparents and so on. Especially if they also treat you like you are the grandchild, even though you are not connected, then you don't really have the necessity to start searching for origin.
Yeah, for sure.
But to our the other boy, you know, of course, he had that a lot of background. Especially when you mentioned that when he met us, he felt like, okay, I'm more connected to them rather than to that person.
Yeah,
so where's the disconnect here? So in such situation, yeah, I understand it, and that would probably be an outcome of a lot of like adoption situations. Like that, let's say, like, and a lot of them usually tend to happen in older age. Like when you're younger, you might not necessarily be automatically like, why am I different, blah blah blah. But in older age, it kind of like starts coming out. Like, okay. But
it goes against your nature. It goes against what you are from within, and it's interesting always to see. I had this argument. I don't know if you can relate to it, but I had this argument in the workplace that I was. The guy that I was arguing with, he was like, you know, the Ted that he just likes to poke people. I
was trying to find out the issues with everyone.
But then you poke back, and all of a sudden you are just in this middle of a debate, and and then he argues. Think about it. He argues like a woman. That the moment he knows that he cannot win you in this argument, the argument changes, and all of a sudden
flip-floppers. That we call.
And all of a sudden you're talking about something else, and you're like, wait, what?
How did we end up in metaphysics all of a sudden?
But we were talking about this people who immigrate here, and then children who are born here, or if they come to us very, very young, how they adopt the language. And I said to him that, listen, I'm not saying that you don't have a responsibility to learn the language here. But I'm saying that mother tongue is much more important than the language that you're living in, especially today. But I'm saying that, and he said, and this was his argument, that he actually believes that there is also a part of a child knows within their language, their native language. Interesting thought. I have heard stories, now these are stories, that a child was, for example, adopted from their parents and their native place, but he was so small he doesn't like remember all of it.
Faces.
Then he goes to another place, he's trained there, militarized there. When he comes back to fight, that same place, he hears something that is very like familiar, like very something that connects with him, and he. For example, our national hero that I was looking actually, he was like that. He was 7, 8 years old when Ottomans came to his country and kidnapped him and then trained him to be a military, and he was a brilliant military mind. And then he was ordered to go to the same place 20 something, like it was 25 years later, something like that. And when he went back, he said, he like connected with him, like, hey, whoa, wait a second. This is the place that I'm from. People talk the same way I heard talking when I was a child. Of course, we are talking about like 7, 8 years old when he actually remembers stuff that what has happened. But still, our national hero has this kind of story. Or you can look into it if you want, but it's called Skanderbeg, if you want to, George Castrioti.
And he said what? He said what? Everybody's like, hold on, what the hell is it?
You can look into his history, but this is the basis of how he came to, from like adopted and then came back to an. A lot of nations did that when it was a wartime. But yeah.
No. I was just about to say about the child thing, that because the friend said that initially everybody or children have like subconscious.
Yeah.
That they know their mother language in a sense.
Yeah.
I would argue to that like yes and no, in a sense of yes, reason behind it is that when we were kids, even though we might not register it automatically in a way that I know what you're saying, but because they hear their mother constantly. When you're born, basically, or put out to this final world of ours, you hear things. You constantly hear things. You might not register it in a sense, but your subconscious kind of takes it in constantly. So the idea of you knowing the language will be back there. You might now know the language, but your subconscious kind of like remind you that you have heard it somewhere. Kind of like when you hear one language right now, you might not understand what the hell the language is, but let's say 20 years later, you hear the same wording or same thing. You're like, hold up, I have heard this somewhere. It kind of goes the same idea in the same sense that the child might not know the language in itself, or it's not kind of like registered in a sense that, oh, you're born, you immediately like, this is my language, I'm registering in it. No, not in that sense. And no, because as a kid, we are but just pure sponges, basically. That's why they say when you want to learn something, you got to put yourself in the kid mentality, because kids were sponges. They adopted everything, basically. So I would say anybody who was adopted or brought up from another country and raised in this country, they'll adopt this language and culture. Only thing that differs them if they're being treated as not from this culture, as we mentioned, because all the kids that were adopted that we know that are adopted, wow, shit, I said a long word, kids were adopted that we know are adopted, what the hell? They know the language as native, pretty much. They speak it as native. Like, if you don't like see them visibly, you would think that they're native. Like, there's not really anything that separates them from the native other than their appearance and their root of origins. So that's why I would go against the argument of saying yes and no in the sense of like the mother and even the culture wise. Like, they might seem, it goes basically back to what I just said, that if they're not pushed or poked in a sense that you're different, they will not start being like, what is my origin in a sense. So if you're brought up or raised in another culture and your adoptive parents is from that culture, you will adopt that culture automatically as a child, because you're a sponge. You absorb everything in as it is until you're being told, oh, hold up, you're wrong, bro. You ain't belong here. You ain't part of this. So that would be my argument to that.
Yeah, it was an interesting take in my opinion, because if it is a little bit different when you think about that. How much do you have from the outside and how much do you have from the inside? The way you feel, the way you speak, the way you behave, the way you believe in stuff. There is I can tell you this story as well, and then we wrap this thing up. Like I mentioned, the war in Kosovo, Serbia was happening, like, I'm talking about like back. And the child was adopted, not adopted, but adopted. And he was raised in the military of Serbia. And when the war in Kosovo happened, he was ordered to kill children. And it was a very common thing in Kosovo-Serbia war in 1998 and 1999 to Serbian militia and Serbian army to go and kill children. It was a very regular thing.
Tactical.
And he was ordered. And he said, clear statement, I cannot do it. And they asked why. He said, I just cannot do it. He didn't know he is Albanian. He didn't understand the word of Albanian. He didn't even know where his parents from. He did like the whole aspect, like Serbians and the Balkans in itself, they are, in the looks, they are not that different.
Yeah, look all the same almost. Not racially motivated, but
hey, in Balkans, do you know why everybody in Balkans is not racist? Because we're racist to everyone.
Yeah, I see. Y'all hate everybody.
Everybody can get it. And you think it's just focus on the outside. No, insiders as well.
They hate themselves too, man. What the hell?
Yeah, everybody can get it. But he did a test. He was Albanian. But if you say army man of a Serbian soldier, to kill a child, he'll do it.
He'll do it for the business.
But in Albania today, I'm taking my words back, because today there are a lot of bad people. But I'm talking about during that time, if you send an Albanian that, hey, kill a child, he'll say no. Straight up no. The story it's not like publicized or anything, but it's well known in our culture, for example, that a child from Albania, from Kosovo area, was adopted, was raised in Serbia, culture Serbia, language Serbia. He was in the military. He was ordered to kill a child. He could not physically do it because something inside said no. Later found out that he was Albanian.
But could be behind that moral thing rather than the origin in itself. Because some people are morally just let's just say, be honest, some people are morally in higher ground, even though they are not necessarily being taught like morally this is right, this is wrong. They just subconsciously know that what the hell am I doing? Like, who you think I am? Who you think I am? I get what the story behind it, and
and I appreciate that you look at it in another perspective. I don't know, like, I don't know the person, so I cannot go.
Oh yeah, true, bro.
I cannot go to.
Hey, bro, what was your cause? What was your reason?
But the story goes that he just he couldn't do it. Like it wasn't anything. But it's an example that even though the connection,
there's a disconnect between.
There is a certain disconnect. Any last thoughts? Thoughts
With the thoughts. Hey, I mean, this was a little. How would I say? Middle, kind of like a relief episode in a sense, I would say, because we had a bigger topic on the previous episode, and we plan to make a slightly bigger topic on the next episode or episode after that.
Yes.
So in this between is kind of more of a topic to get you a good episode out, and y'all get to see our pretty faces again.
Right.
Some of y'all I haven't seen you in a while, so we gotta put something out as well.
For sure. And I hope, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I hope that someday we are actually making money off of this. Because it would be great, right?
Yeah, because some people be making bread out of it, so we need piece of that bread as well, you know what I'm saying?
But all in time.
All in time, and we're doing more of a fun of it right now.
Oh, for sure.
So that's
of course, if this starts to succeed,
then
of course
more for it.
We go for it.
More for it. And also, well, this topic as well kind of like is connected to the previous episode, to the funny thing. I'll be saying that a lot nowadays, but hey, it's true. It's true. It's kind of connected to the previous episodes with the belonging part, because there's different type of belonging in a sense, and in a different dynamics, and from different perspective as well, as we have noticed that you can belong to somewhere where you might not necessarily be originated from, in a sense.
Sure.
So that's that. But other than that, personally, because I'm not adopted, I hope I'm not.
I believe you're not.
I hope I'm not. At least so far, I look similar to the people who should be my parents. So let's not question it too much. You might have end up in rabbit hole, and you too. You should be adopted. So we know your birth certificate is from that hospital right there. So it shows that you should be originated from the original.
I'm good. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, but nothing against person who is being adopted. It's a wonderful thing, and it gives the opportunity for the child to be raised in a family, loving family. Hopefully, also that is loving family.
Yeah.
So nothing really against that as well. It's a wonderful thing, and yeah. Personally, I don't really have that much towards it because, like I said, we don't have like a first-person view on that perspective because neither of us is adopted, and a lot of our close circle is not really adopted in that sense. Like we know people that are adopted, but we haven't like pulled that conversation that much, so we can really add out into it. But we might have an episode in the future that we bring out somebody who could like reopen this topic.
For sure. Like I would gladly bring them and ask about this stuff. Of course, as much as they want to tell. Like we said, it's personal. But it would be awesome to. We have told this before. It would be awesome to have a guest who either have experienced it or very expert on that subject. But.
Yeah, but it's the logistics always, and the timing, and also on the person, how willing they are to put themselves in front of camera. So that's on that. But let's hope that we might get somebody like that. But personally, to me, I ain't got much. You got anything that you want to add up or tell
the whole thing is that this episode, it was good. It was short. It was dynamic. It had that we go into this subject, but it a little bit there, but then back at it again.
Yeah, what we talking about? Michael Jackson, get back into.
But I believe this is the kind of this is the kind of way I like, and I like the episodes we have done. Of course, it's me and you.
Yeah, which type of shit. Yeah.
But the whole point of it was that just to scratch the surface of this topic, because like I said in the beginning of the episode, the family as a subject is not some hey, this is a remote, it's black, okay, then move on. Like
Hold on.
it's not that kind of topic. It's
You've been saying black way too many times now.
I can say white too.
Hey, whoa, shit. Yeah.
But it's not some easy topic. It is a very delicate, it has a very many complexities. It's a very wide thing, and especially for both of us, it's a very deep thing, a very important thing. So to talk about it, one episode will not cut it. But as one of the episodes for the belonging is a very good episode, in my opinion. It's a very good subject. But yeah, that's all. That's all for me as well. You know what to do. You know where the like and comment, subscribe buttons are.
Somewhere will pop out here somewhere.
The bell, maybe there, somewhere around.
It's usually
there.
somewhere around.
Usually, so yeah, click the bell button. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and as well Spotify. And did you mention about the comment? Because we want to see, Oh, for sure.
I want to see some down here.
You know what
the
to
regular, the regular.
do. You know what to do.
Yeah. Well, other than that, we appreciate you for watching the episode, and as always, we hope to see you in the next one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.